Hello everyone. Today we are going to dehydrate great value frozen wild blueberries. This is a 2-pound 8-ounce bag, and I have not thawed it. It's completely frozen. I just now took it out of the freezer, and I'm actually starting this in the evening before I go to bed because I suspect that this will take several hours, especially since I'm starting with them frozen. And I figure that the way I see it is that they may as well be working. The dehydrator may as well be working while I am sleeping. Now, this is my first time dehydrating these wild blueberries. I don't think I've even purchased them before. And I was just kind of curious about them, and you probably can't tell, but these look to me to be smaller than the other frozen blueberries that I have bought from Walmart or other places. So I'm suspecting that's the difference. I'm just going to pour them onto the tray and spread them out. Try not to overlap too much. And by the way, I should mention that on the bottom tray, I have just a plastic, like a fruit leather tray. And the reason is that I suspect that this will be pretty messy and that these will just kind of drip down as they thaw. So, okay, so there's the first tray. And hopefully the 4 trays that I have with these mesh things will be enough to adequately give me enough space to do this whole bag. Because I am going to do the whole bag even if I have to overlap a little bit, but it's better if you don't overlap. Okay, so again, I'm just sprinkling them on, just dumping them on, and then just kind of using my hand to pat them around a little bit, spread them out. They are overlapping very, very slightly, but not much at all. One reason why I wanted to do these blueberries is because I recently dehydrated a cherry berry blend, and it is really delicious. And one of my favorite things that I've dehydrated, actually. But the cherries took a really long time to dry. The blueberries dehydrated a lot faster. And I'm thinking that it's probably, even though I love the mix, the fruit mix, it's probably better to have things that are more or less the same size, and hopefully it will go a little faster. And actually I'm making this tray quite a bit heavier. Part of it is just because that's how much I had left, but also with this being at the top, it'll dry a little bit faster. But anyway, lately I have been making pancakes for really just kind of for a dinner for myself. And one thing that I have tried and it has been really, really good is I have been rehydrating some of that cherry berry blend that I did and putting them in the pancake batter, and it's been delicious. But I'm thinking that, you know, blueberry pancakes would just be really good too. So I kind of have that in mind with this, as well as just for snacking and putting on granola and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to put on the lid. And lately I have been reading up on the nutritional aspects of dehydrating, and dehydrating is something that I want to do a lot more of, and so I want to learn more about it. And some have suggested dehydrating at a much lower temperature, like more like this 115. If you look, I don't know if you can see, but over here it says fruits and vegetables 135 degrees, and that's the temperature that I have used because that's what it says, 135 degrees. But I do want to keep as much of the nutritional content as possible, so I'm going to do these at 115. And I'm just going to plug in the dehydrator now, and you'll hear it start. This particular dehydrator doesn't have an on and off switch, so when I plug it in, that's when it starts. And anyway, so what I'm doing is I am getting ready to go to bed, and I figure that it can just run while I'm sleeping. And I suspect that, especially since I'm dehydrating at a low temperature and I'm starting off with frozen berries, that they will not be done when I get up in the morning. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised, but I suspect they'll still have ways to go. So I'm going to turn the camera off and go to bed, and I will see you in the morning and give you an update on how things are looking at that time. It is now the next morning, and you can see how much the blueberries have shriveled up. They've been going about 10 hours now, and they aren't done. They're still sticky feeling and quite moist, but you can definitely see how much they have shriveled up. So, and remember, this particular tray was just loaded and kind of piled up. So I'm going to turn it back on, and I'll come back in a couple of hours. Hello, everyone. The berries are all now very nice and dry. They're perfect. Not any moisture that I can find. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about these frozen wild berries. First of all, they are really, really small. I want to show you the difference in size between a regular blueberry that's been dehydrated and one of these wild blueberries. But first, before I forget, I want to mention how long it took for these to dehydrate all the way. And it was about 17 or 18 hours. So it took a long time, even though they were small. Now, bear in mind that I did dehydrate them at the lower temperature of 115 degrees. And the Nesco dehydrator says to dehydrate them at 135 degrees. And I did the lower temperature to preserve more nutrients. Now, dehydrating is a good way when it comes to nutrient preservation, but often fruits and vegetables lose their vitamin C content if you dehydrate at too high of a level. So that's why I'm going to be researching this more and maybe dehydrating at the lower level, even though it takes longer. But one thing that I want to show you is the difference in size. Over on the right here is a regular blueberry that's been dehydrated, and then over on the left you can see the wild blueberry, the size of the dehydrated ones. So huge difference. You know, I'll put a couple of other of the small ones on so you can see them, because obviously some are bigger than others. But you can see how they're all, like there's two together. They're all really small compared to a regular blueberry. So let's talk about that a little bit and whether or not I will do these wild blueberries again. Okay, so here's my thought on this. For eating, just like snacking on, I definitely think the regular blueberries are better. And however, I'm thinking that these would be great to put in like a blueberry pancake mix or a blueberry muffin mix. Or I would maybe keep them separate, but I think these will rehydrate very, very quickly and would be great in blueberry pancakes or blueberry muffins, that type of thing. So I will definitely use these, obviously. I'm not going to waste them. But I don't know that I will buy them again. I think that I prefer the regular size blueberries. Another thing is, and this happens in general with fruit, they really stuck to the trays. I mean, really stuck to the trays. And there's some places where they even stuck down into, I'm not seeing any right now, but like into the hole in the mesh. And so I'm going to have to like literally dig some out, like just really work to get them out. So because of that, I'm not going to have you watch me take all of them off the trays. I'm finding like if I use my fingers and scrape like this, they come up, but some of them are still stuck. So it's going to take me quite a while to get them off the trays. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that off camera, And then I'll show you a picture of how much blueberries I ended up with dehydrated. I'll show you in the jar, probably a pint jar, how much I ended up with out of 2.5 pounds of the frozen wild blueberries. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you would like the video and if you would also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.